Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. Zizi Kodwa and Jehan Mackay, also affectionately known as Langa's ex-husband, are free. I'm being messy, I know. Yesterday, the 1st of November, NPA announced that they have withdrawn corruption charges against former Sports, Arts and Culture Minister Zizi Kodwa and Enterprise Outsourcing Holdings Executive Jehan Mackay. So for those who are behind the jail and were hoping to speak to Zizi and have him famously respond by saying,
I just arrived.
Is the president coming?
I just arrived.
Is the president coming?
I just arrived.
When last did you speak to him?
I just arrived.
When last did you speak to him?
I just arrived.
Is the president coming?
I just arrived. I don't know who's inside.
well, he certainly won't be arriving there anytime soon. We'll dive into all of that in a bit, but before we do, as always, please don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and smash that like button to help the channel grow. Now let's get right into it.
In Gauteng, Advocate Chauke, Your Worship, dated the 31st of October 2024. And the decision, Your Worship, is that the charges against both accused should then be withdrawn. As a result, the state is withdrawing the charges against both accused.
Right, thank you, Mr. Mackay and Mr. Kodwa. Charges withdrawn. You may stand down.
Thank you, ma'am. Will you excuse, sir?
Thank you, Mr. Smallsmith. Thank you, Mr. Majabu.
Now, before withdrawing the charges yesterday, the NPA were basing their allegations on the theory or evidence that Kodwa received 1.68 million rands from Mackay, which covered stays in seaside villas in an upmarket area of Cape Town from April 2015 to February 2016. This money was reportedly given in exchange for an IT software contract. In his state capture report, former Chief Justice Raymond Zondo recommended that President Cyril Ramaphosa consider Kodwa's position concerning the debts he owed to Mackay, who was accused of bribing politicians and making donations to the ANC to secure lucrative government contracts. As for the NPA's latest decision to abandon prosecution, the NPA spokesperson Phindi Mjonondwane said the decision to drop the charges came after the accused submitted successful representation to the Director of Public Prosecutions, which is the DPP. These were reviewed along with evidence in the case file, reports from both the prosecutor and the head of Specialised Commercial Crimes Unit, and input from the investigating officer.
All that we can say as the NPA is that the DPP exercised his discretion as per mandate and his constitutional obligation. And in deciding in this matter, he had to ensure that there is fairness, that there is transparency, and as well as the fact that the decision that he takes must be in the interest of justice, and also take into consideration the interest of society as well as the interest of the accused before court. So we are not in a position to share the details contained in their representations as well as the factors that informed the DPP's decision.
Withdrawing charges is definitely their forte. What I find frustrating about the NPA is their habit of charging alleged perpetrators first and then scrambling to gather concrete evidence as they go along. Charging without concrete evidence just tips off the suspects, giving them a chance to cover their tracks. This is why the NPA often ends up withdrawing charges. A recurring embarrassment, really. Remember when they incorrectly charged that G4S employee who was on duty when Thabo Bester escaped? She ended up staying in the holding cell for almost a month.
I believe I was used as a scapegoat. I believe I was somehow framed. Don't know how, cannot explain that. And I also believe that the police did not do a proper investigation, because if they did, I was not going to sit in prison for 29 days for something I did not do.
I think the investigating officer and the prosecutor must meet halfway and adopt that strategy of giving the devil enough rope to hang himself kind of vibe. You know how the feds did with Didi? They didn't even arrest him right after the raid. It took months before they could arrest him. So they should adopt that approach of quietly building a solid case, letting the suspects believe they're in the clear while evidence is compiled. Not this rush they've been doing all these years to look like they're working. Anyway, if there's any truth to the allegations that Mackay bribed politicians and made donations to the ANC to secure lucrative contracts, then the 1.68 million rands linked to Zizi is just the tip of the iceberg. A quiet investigation without premature charges would have likely uncovered much more, if there's anything to be uncovered, of course. I mean, in 2019, Jehan Mackay's then wife and influencer Sarah Langa trended for days after showing off her residence in the sky on social media. While most can barely afford to fly economy internationally, Sarah had an entire apartment in the sky when flying with Etihad. After a few months of showing off and exposing just how much money there is in the Mackay's household, Jehan divorced her. Again, in 2021, when someone asked Sarah Langa how she made her first million, she famously replied, "I got divorced." So clearly, 1.68 million rands is or was nothing to Jehan Mackay. Surely his legal team can easily account for it. What I mean is, if there was any truth to the now withdrawn allegations by the state, they should have quietly investigated further over the years, then come forward with solid evidence and charge Jehan Mackay and all those ANC officials allegedly accepting bribes in exchange for lucrative contracts or tenders. And just like that, we've come to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.